How do you know what you have learned in your life is true? Are you confident about what he taught you in school? I'm not. I come from Georgia, and we rank around the 45th to 50th in education. But say you go to one of these better education places. I mean,
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
you go to school in one of these better states, education-wise. Is it still correct? Because education is a doctrine. So could they just be filling your head up with stuff that's not true? Possibly, because how would you know? A lot of the history, you wasn't. 99% of the history, you wasn't there for. So how do you know what you were learning is true? It seems like most things that people say they know are theories.
I don't know nothing.
What do we really know? Other than things that we test, that we can test, that you can test. What do we know? Everything that we know, we have to rely on what somebody in the past said. You know, we have to listen at what the teacher or what some encyclopedia or what some almanac or whatever somebody wrote. We have to believe that that was the case. When if humans are writing, there's biases in it. So how do we know what we write is true? Because documents have been falsified in the past. For instance, there's something called the Dawes Roll, where in the 1800s, all you had to do was get your name on this Dawes Roll, and you could be considered Native American or Indian. There was white people getting their names on that roll. They had no Native American blood, but they paid $5 to get on that roll. So you're telling me that just because that document has somebody's family name on it, that they really Native American? That's a false document, in my opinion. But people use that to trace their ancestry to Native American / Indian roots. So, American Indian roots, to be specific. So, how do you know? Faith? Could be. Go along with everybody else think. Go along with your gut feeling. Maybe. How do you know? Because I don't know for sure. It's things that they taught me in school that later somebody refuted. They told us in school that George Washington's teeth was made out of wood. If info comes out later to me, well, I find something later that says he had human teeth from slaves put in his mouth. Well, his dentures were made out of that. That's not the same. You know, they taught us in school that Abraham Lincoln freed the slaves because he was anti-slavery, abolitionist, anti-slavery. Comes to find out, he freed the slaves to save the Union, but he also would have kept slavery going on if that could save the Union. But that's what they told us at first. New information came out, which is true. How do you know? You don't. You just gotta trust people. Trust. Even the only things that you can really know is things that you can test. You can't even trust the justice system. You can't trust so-called victims. Who can you trust? Allah, the woman who said that Emmett Till violated and did something to her, he was innocent. She later said that he was innocent. She's really old and he's already dead, and his mother probably was already dead, and stuff like that. But how do you really know? Information comes with an agenda. Written by a human, there's probably some bias in it. Gone are the days of unbiased news. That doesn't exist.
It's a woozy, it's a fairy dust. It doesn't exist.
You should have seen that with the election and the last presidency. Same event. One network says one thing, one network says something else. So who do we trust? Not journalists, not television. Can we even trust the president? Can we trust the government? So. People have done that in the past. Hasn't worked out. What info can we trust? What info from what people or group of people can we say is correct? Maybe sports statisticians? I guess so. I guess they are. I mean, but who's going back and counting every single rebound and every single point Wilt Chamberlain had? I guess James Naismith made up the sport. Even though there's rumors that the sport was indigenous to North America and was already being, a version of the sport was already being played by some Native Americans around, around the Mexico, Central America area. But I mean, who's right? What information do you know?
Do you know anything? I'm being nice about you. Do you know anything?
Who's your source?
Anyone? Yes or you, sir?
Mama says that alligators are ornery because they got all them teeth but no toothbrush.
Your mama said it.
Maybe if in your culture y'all tell stories, pass them down generation after generation, maybe you can trust that. I don't know. If it's written down in a book in America, how do you know it's true? If it's on TV in America, how do you know it's true? Newspaper, how do you know it's true? Unless you can test it or put your hands on it to prove it's true. Unless you see it with your own eyes, how you know it's true? I guess you don't. I guess it's a guessing game. I guess it's a trust game. I guess it's a belief game, a faith thing. I don't know. This has been Dave, and we out.